Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer, a very good drama with the unforgettable song by Coolio. We're spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We're spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Hi there guys, I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel called Blast in the Past, and this time around I have a review of the film The Substitute from 1996, starring Tom Berenger in the main role, but also Ernie Hudson, Luis Guzman, and there is also in the cast William Forsythe. So it's a star-studded cast of rather B-listed actors.
No talking in the library.
Because Tom Berenger was already past his prime at that point in time, but this is a VHS classic, this is a video rental shop classic from the late 1990s, so I think it's worth giving it a go, and it spawned 3 more sequels starring Treat Williams, which the sequels I've seen only the second one on Blu-ray, the German edition, and it was pretty captivating, kitschy, tacky, but so is the first one. So without further ado, let's get immersed into the inner city schools of the late 1990s. Buckle up and let's get the party rolling, shall we?
Can we be reasonable with this?
Sure.
Tell me about
This is the Polish edition of The Substitute, and actually the Polish translation is The Teach. So a pretty colloquial name for the teacher. Here is the front cover, here is the spine. Here is the back, and unfortunately the picture quality of this release is disastrous. There are white margins on the top of the screen and on the bottom, but it doesn't help, because the picture is still pretty lousy. But after all, it's the motion picture that matters, isn't it?
Oh, God, that's better. I've been holding that for 20 minutes waiting for her to leave.
Thank you for sharing.
Arguably, we could say that there was a fad for school films in the 1990s. Of course, we had titles like Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer, a very good drama with the unforgettable song by Coolio. We're spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We're spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. In this film there are not so many catchy songs, if there are some at all, but this is a more action-packed film, definitely, so it's a play on the formula, there is some drama but not that much. And it doesn't take itself seriously. So lots of actions, it's filled to the brim with action scenes, there are car chases, and it's like Rambo meets Dangerous Minds. That's the best description of the film. So John Rambo goes to school to become a substitute temporary teacher. And this is exactly what the film is about. It's a nice spectacle, a pretty kitschy, a tacky one. It's a walk down memory line when going to video rental shops was a must in order to stay up to speed with new releases, and this is certainly one of them. It looks like it had been made by Orion Pictures, but I don't think it was, but it has that special vibe. The cheesy one, but in a kind of a good way, especially in hindsight. So I think that for those who want a time capsule to the late 1990s, this is a perfect vehicle, and one of the magic bullets.
My name's Smith. I'm her substitute.
Hi, Claude Willet. I'm the principal.
Oh, good to meet you.
In The Substitute, Tom Berenger plays a role of a mercenary who participates in an operation which goes south, goes awry, and he's renounced by the government and he needs to find another gig. And he gets involved in personal vendetta because his love interest is assaulted, is kneecapped by one of the students because there is a lot of criminal activity, as you can imagine, in inner circle schools. And Tom Berenger, his character, doesn't let anybody insult, not to mention attack, his love interest. His match made in heaven, so he decides to wreak havoc in one of the schools, in the school in which his love interest was teaching. And what happens later? Well, you can imagine that Tom Berenger, generally he plays those roles of guys who are no-nonsense cops, mercenaries, detectives, and in this case he's a merc turned teacher. But he makes use of all of his combat skills, that's for sure. And also he discovers that there's a plot involving drugs which goes much deeper than it looks like on the surface, and many important figures are involved in that. So there is also a little bit of a crime story intertwined in the narrative.
It's just game one. This is a crucial move. I want you to think it over.
But mostly it's a typical actioner, an action-packed film with some subtle drama thrown into that. But like I said, it doesn't take itself seriously, and there is a lot of good old 90s cheese. For better or worse. In my case, it's always a plus. Regarding Tom Berenger, he had an illustrious career in the late 1980s after starring in Platoon, Oliver Stone's great film, but then he started fading away unfortunately, and even in the late 1990s he participated in straight-to-video films. I think that The Substitute was one of them, not to mention the early 2000s and later on, in which he limited himself to only some extra roles, the secondary roles, in which he doesn't have too much to play, and that's a shame because he is a talented actor and he was a heartthrob back in the day. You have to check out his earlier films in which he is much younger. You can imagine that ladies would fall for him. He was a skirt chaser.
Here's the movie dedicated to proving what a young man really Tom Berenger in praise of older women.
But I have one of the favorite of mine from the early 1990s, I think it was released in 1991, and that was Shattered, starring also Bob Hoskins. And this is a great suspense thriller, and trust me, it's very difficult to predict the ending. That's one of the major points of that film, Shattered. I think that I will review it in the future, but in this case, let's focus on the teacher. Tom Berenger definitely does his best as an ex-merc turned teacher. And he's pretty believable as this John Rambo style of a guy who is a no-nonsense fella, and he knows how to stand up to himself and to defend himself. So trust me, he uses his combat skills, his skills from the Vietnam War to the best of his capabilities. And the students will have a hard time with him. However, he also makes them listen to his stories from the war times. So there is an added value that even in inner circle schools, the environment, there are some students who want to improve and who want to change their lives for the better.
Yeah, I was talking and I just happened to glance back and the weirdest thing happened.
What?
They were listening.
Therefore, there is always a silver lining in every situation. That would be it, guys. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope that you have enjoyed my short review of The Teacher from 1996 starring Tom Berenger. If you have liked it, please give the video the thumbs up. Please share your comments on the film itself, on the main actor Tom Berenger, and on the supporting cast, which includes many famous names too. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing to it. Maybe you could also recommend this video review to your friends. And I hope to see you guys next time. Maybe I'll review another underrated gem or something interesting from the 1990s. We'll see, time will tell. Thank you very much, and until next time, cheers, bye!
I'm in charge of this class. I'm the warrior chief.
And if you want to have a deeper look, here is what the disc looks like inside. Here we go, The Substitute.
Okay, let's get back to Vietnam.